Hello everyone, welcome to the ITLS Academy. Uh, I'll be teaching today on the topic microscope under the bioinstrumentation topic. Let's start with the introduction first. Uh, Microscope is based on the principle that microscopy is to get a magnified image in which structures may be resolved which could not be resolved with the help of an unaided eye. The magnification. It is the ratio of the size of an object seen under microscope to the actual size observed with unaided eye. The total magnification of microscope is calculated by multiplying the magnifying power of the objective lens by that of eyepiece. Let's understand what is the resolving power. It is the ability to differentiate two close points as separate. The resolving power of human eye is 0.25 mm. The light microscope can separate dots that are 0.25 micrometer apart. The electron microscope can separate dots that are zero point 0.5 nanometer apart. Limits of resolution. It is the minimum distance between two points to identify them separately. Limit of resolution is inversely proportional to the power of or resolution. If the wavelength is shorter, then the resolution will be greater. Working distance. It is the distance between the objective and the objective slide. The working distance decreases with increasing magnification. Okay, microscope, as we know, all are familiar with the microscope since from 11th 12th classes. It is an instrument that is used to observe the smallest organism, or we can say the stem cell in basic class. For example, we have learned about the microscope or seen the objects under the microscopes in our 11th 12th classes and high school classes, that whatever the objects which could not be seen through our naked eyes, that will be visible through the through the microscope under the high magnification. So microscope is a device to visualize those objects which could not be seen through our naked eyes. Okay, let's see the classification of light microscopes. Depending upon the lens system, microscopes is divided into two parts. It is the simple microscope and the compound microscope. We are familiar with both of this, the simple microscope and compound microscopes. These are the microscopes that are of student levels and easily available in schools and universities. And depending on the optical techniques, microscopes are divided further, classified further in different groups, that is the bright field microscopes, the dark field microscopes, the phase contrast microscope, and interference fluorescence. Taking with the basic model, the simple microscope. The principle of simple microscope is, a simple microscope is used to obtain small magnification. It is usually used for study of microscopic algae, fungi, and biological specimen. Light from a light source or mirror passes through a thin transparent object. A biconvex lens magnifies the size of the object to get an enlarged virtual images. Parts of a simple microscope. The simple microscope are generally categorized in two parts. First is the mechanical part and second one is the optical part. As I told, it is the basic model, so it does not contain too much of heavier instrument, and generally categorized in two parts, mechanical and optical parts. I'll be discussing this in brief. Because of the limited ability of the eye lens to change its shape, object brought very close to the eye cannot have their images brought to focus on the retina. The accepted minimal conventional viewing distance is 10 inch to 250 millimeters or 25 centimeters. These simple microscopes, along with the cornea and eye lens, could spread the image on the retina by magnification through increasing the visual angle on the retina. Okay, here is the simple diagram for a simple microscope. As I told, that it consists of the mechanical part and an optical part. Mechanical part is the handle, draw tube, clip, stages, adjustment screw, pillar, and the optical part is the mirror and eyepiece. These are the parts of the simple microscope. Let's see the mechanical part. These parts support the optical parts and help in their adjustment for focusing the object. Object is placed between the optical center and the focus of a lens. They include the following components: the metal stand and the stage. It has a heavy base plate and a vertical rod fitted to it, which provides the support and stability to other parts of the microscope. A stage is a rectangular metal plate fitted to the vertical rod. It has a central hole for light to pass from below. Slide with the specimen to be observed is kept on the stage in such a way that the specimen remains just on the central hole. Some microscopes have a pair of slanting wings projecting from the both of the sides of the stages. They provide support to hand for manipulating the objects. The next part is the optical part of the simple microscope. These parts are involved in passing the light through the object and magnifying its size. The component of the optical part are as follows. I told you that it consists of the mirror and a lens. A plano-convex mirror is fitted below the stage to the vertical rod by means of a frame. It focuses the surrounding light on the object to be observed. Lens. A biconvex lens is fitted above the stage to the vertical rod by means of a frame. It magnifies the size of the object. An enlarged virtual image is formed, is observed by keeping the eye above it. For proper focusing, the lens can be moved up and down by the frame. Okay, let's see the compound microscope. It is in another category that is based on the lens microscope. The principle. A compound microscope works on the principle that when a tiny object is to be magnified is placed just beyond the focus of its objective lens, a virtual, inverted, and highly magnified image of the object is formed uh, at the least distance of distinct vision from the eye, held close to the eyepiece. In its basic form, it consists of two convex lenses aligned in series, an object glass closer to the object or specimen, and next is the an eyepiece or ocular closer to the observer's eye, with means of adjusting the position of the specimen and the microscope lenses. The compound microscopes achieves a two-stage magnification, as it is the some advanced modification of the simple microscope. The objective projects a magnified image into the body tube of the microscope, and the eyepiece further magnifies the image projected by the objective. Light from a lamp passes through a substage condenser and then through a transparent specimen placed over an opening in the stage. Light is then gathered by the objective. The objective, together with the built in tube lens, focuses the image of the specimen at the level of the fixed diaphragm of the eyepiece. The image is then seen by the observer as if it were at a distance of approximately 10 inches or 250 centimeter to 25 centimeter from the eye. Okay, let's see the components parts of a microscope, compound microscope. Basically, it has a support system that mainly consists of a base, a pillar, and a handle or limb. The next part is the focusing system, which is generally consist of the coarse adjustment screw and the fine adjustment screw. The third is the stage, that is again divided into a fixed stage and a mechanical stage. The fourth part is the optical system. Optical system consists of a body tube, a nose piece, which is again can be fixed or resolving, and third is the objective lens, and fourth is the eyepiece. The next part is the illumination system. Illumination system mainly consists of the source of the light, the mirror, and the condenser. Okay. uh, in this parts of the compound microscope, light is an essential part of the system. Sunlight, low voltage electric lamps, tungsten, etc., can be used for the light source. Neutral density filters, excess brightness of the light is reduced to comfortable viewing level through these filters. The source of illumination should be uniformly intense and should completely flood the back lens of the condenser with light when the lamp iris diaphragm is open. Make the object appear as though it were self luminous. Okay, the most important optical component of the microscope is the objective. Let's consider the optical system of the uh, compound microscope. It is the objective is the most important optical component. It is the basic function is to gather the light passing through the specimen and then to project an accurate and real inverted image of the specimen up into the one of the bodies of the microscope. The objective must have the capacity to reconstitute the various points of the specimen into the various corresponding points in the image. Sometimes it also called as the anti-points. The objective must be constructed so that it will be focused closed enough to the specimen so that it will project a magnified real image up into the microscope. The high power objective should have a retractable front lens housing to protect the front lens where the objective requires focusing very close to the specimen. The extent possible correction for lens error should be made with the objective itself. In this action, the second important optical component is the eyepiece. Its basic function is to look at and focused magnified real image projected by the objective and magnify that image a second time as a virtual image seen as if 10 inches from the eye. In recording a photo such as ki if we look any specimen or pick up the real image projected by the objective a second time as a real image able to be captured by the camera. The eyepiece houses a fixed diaphragm. It is at the plane of that fixed diaphragm that image projected by the objective will be seen. On the shelf of the fixed diaphragm, the eyepiece can be fitted with the scale or markers or pointers or crosshairs that will be in simultaneous focus on with the focused image. It also works in the combination with the microscope objective to further magnify the immediate image so that the specimen detail can be observed very clearly. The third important component of this is the substage condenser. The basic function is to gather the light coming from the light source and to concentrate that light in a collection of parallel beams onto the specimen. The once the light gathered by the condenser comes to the focus at the back focal plane of the objective, uh, left later the in appropriately set up illumination, it is arranged that the image of the light source comes to focus at the level of the built-in variable aperture diaphragm of the substage condenser. Next is the stage. The stage is mainly used to fix our slide. It has provided with the clips and a movable header. On that we can fix the slide and can be easily rotate that slide to view under the microscope. The next is the focusing system. Focusing system consists of the coarse adjustment screw and fine adjustment screw. Once we observe in in a microscope, we have to firstly move the coarse adjustment screw so that we can get the image easily, image under the lens of, we can say, we can choose the lens of 100x, 100 times x, so that we can magnify it. High power objective and low power objective can be used to focus by using the coarse adjustment screw. Once we get a such position in that the chances to view the organism could be more, then we used to move the fine adjustment screw so that the clear image will be formed under the lens. Okay, let's move on to the next microscope, that is based on the optical system, the bright field microscope. Bright field microscope is mainly based on the principle that a specimen when is placed on the stage of the microscope and the microscope's light source is aimed at a lens beneath the specimen. This lens is called a condenser. The condenser usually contains an aperture diaphragm to control the focus light on the specimen. Light when passes through the specimen and and that is collected by an objective lens is situated in a turret above the stage. The objective magnifies the light and transmit it into the auricular lens or eyepiece and into the user's eye. Some of the light is absorbed by stain pigmentation or dense area of the sample, and this contrast allows you to see the specimen. For good result, with this microscopic techniques, the microscope should have a light source that can provide intense illumination necessary at a high magnification and lower light level for lower magnification. This bright field microscopy has a very low contrast and most cells absolutely have to be stained to be seen. Staining may be introduced an extraneous detail into the specimen that should not be present. Also, the users will need to be knowledgeable in proper staining techniques. Lastly, this method requires a strong light source for high magnification application, and intense lighting can produce heat that will damage specimens or kill living organisms. Okay, main advantage for using the bright field microscope is the it is very simple to use with fewer adjustment needed to be made to view specimen. Some specimen can be viewed without staining, and optics used in the bright field technique don't alter the color of the specimen. It is adaptable with new technology, and optional pieces of equipment can be implemented. But along with the advantages, there are some disadvantages of using bright field microscope. So, as certain disadvantages are inherent in any optical imaging technique. By using an aperture diaphragm for contrast or past a certain point, greater contrast adds a distortion. However, employing an iris diaphragm will help compensate for this problem. Bright field microscopy can't be used to observe living specimen of bacteria, although when using fixed specimens, bacteria have an optimum viewing magnification of 1000x. Next is the dark field microscope. The principle is when observing unstained or living cells, such specimens are and their components have a refractive indices close to that of the medium in which they are suspended and are thus difficult to see by bright field techniques due to their lack of contrast. Dark field microscopy overcomes this problem by preventing direct light from entering the front of the objective, and the only light gathered is reflected or diffracted by the structures within the specimen. This caused the specimen to appear as a bright image on the dark background, and the contrast being reversed and increased. Dark field permits the detection of particles smaller than the optical resolution that would be obtained in bright field due to the high contrast of scattered light. In the microscope, Oblique light is created by using a modified or a special condenser that forms a hollow cone of direct light which will pass through the specimen but outside the objective. Okay, the main applications of using the dark field microscope is blood cells can be biologically dark field microscope combined with the phase contrast can be viewed under this can be easily viewed under by this microscope. It is used for bacteria, often combined with the phase contrast. Different types of algae, hairline metal fractures, metallurgical dark field microscopes are used. Diamonds and other precious stones can be viewed. Shrimp or other invertebrates can also be viewed through the stereo dark field microscope. Okay, what are the advantages? Let me tell about some advantages of this. A dark field microscope is ideal for viewing objects that are unstained, transparent, and absorb little or no light. These specimens often have similar refractive indices as their surrounding, making them hard to distinguish with other illumination technique. You can use dark field to study marine organisms such as algae and planktons, diatoms, insects, fiber, hair, yeast, protozoa, as well as some minerals and crystals, as I have discussed in the application. You can also use this dark field in research of live bacterium as well as mounted cell tissue. It is more useful in examining external details such as the outline, edges, grain, boundaries, and surface defects than internal structures. Dark field microscopy is often dismissed for more modern observation techniques such as the phase contrast, which provides more accurate and high contrasted images and can be used to observe a greater number of specimens. Recently, this dark field has regained some of its popularity when combined with the other illumination techniques such as the fluorescence, which widen its possible employment in certain fields. But along with the advantages, there are disadvantages too. First, the dark field images are prone to degradation. A specimen that is not thin enough or its density differs across the slide may appear to have artifact throughout the image. The preparation and quality of the slide can grossly affect the contrast and accuracy of the dark field image. You need to take a special care that the slide stage nose and light source are free from small particles such as dust, as these appears as a part of this image. Okay, next is the phase contrast microscope. The application for phase contrast microscopy equipment range from the study of living biological specimen, medical applications, study of live blood cells, and other biological and science applications. Most commonly used to provide contrast of transparent specimens such as the living cell or small organism, useful in observing cells cultured into in vitro during mitosis, and unstained living biological specimens have a little contrast with their surrounding medium. The phase contrast microscopy overcomes these problems by controlling illumination using the full aperture and thus improving its resolution. The high the refractive index of the structure, the darker it will appear against the light background, that is more contrast. Here is the ray diagram for the phase contrast. Okay, the let me tell you some advantages of the using phase contrast microscopy. The capacity to observe living cells and as such as the ability to examine cells in a natural state, study biological process. Observe it used for observing a living organism in its natural state or an environment can provide far more information than species that need to be killed. fixed or stained to view under a microscope. The high contrast and high resolution images are formed, ideal for studying and interpreting this specimen. It has the ability to combine with other means of observation, such as it can be used in combination with fluorescence or any other technique. Modern phase contrast microscope with computer devices can capture photos or videos images too. In addition to advances to the phase contrast microscope, especially those that incorporate technology, enables a scientist to hone in a minute internal structure for of a particle, and can even detect a mere small number of protein molecules. Annual rings limits the aperture of some extent. There are, but along with this, there are many disadvantages of this using this. This method of observation is not ideal for thick organisms or particles, or images may appear gray or green if white or green lights are used, respectively, resulting in poor photomicrograph. Shade off occurs with larger particles, results in a steady reduction of contrast, moving from the center of the object towards its edge. A halo effect, where images are often surrounded by the bright areas which obscure details along the parameters of the specimen. These are the some disadvantages of using and getting what in the images of a specimen. Next is the fluorescence microscope. Fluorescence microscope, as I have discussed, that the bright field microscope or dark field microscope or phase contrast microscope can be used in with the combination with fluorescence microscope. When a certain compounds are illuminated with high energy light, they then emit light of a different or lower frequency. This effect is known as the fluorescence. Often specimens shows their own characteristics autofluorescence image based on their chemical makeup. The key feature of fluorescence microscopy is that it employs reflected rather than transmitted light, which means transmitted light techniques such as phase contrast or dyes can be combined with fluorescence microscopy. The main advantages are the it is a conventional fluorescence microscopy has two major limitations. First is the physical process of cutting a section destroys the material, and so in consecutive sectioning a small part of a cell structure is lost. Second, the fluorescent light emitted by a sample comes from molecules above and below the plane of the focal. Thus, the observer sees a blurred image caused by the superposition of fluorescent image from molecules at many depths in the cells. The blurring effect makes it difficult to determine the actual three-dimensional molecular arrangement. It also has the ability to serially produce thin optical sections, fluorescence specimen, and can be readily generated by confocal software programs. 3D representation of the specimen with volume rendering, computational techniques, and interrelationship in biological investigation could also be helpful in using these techniques. Internal structures of interest of at different differing level within the specimen analysis of living cells and tissues can be could be easily possible through this. Digitization of the sequential analog image data readily prepared for printout for publication are also be obtained through this technique. The but along with this, disadvantages are also be there. Photo bleaching reactions involve the interaction of fluorophore and light and oxygen destroys the fluorescence and yield a field free radicals that cause a death of live cells and tissues. This is the called as the photo bleaching of the specimen. It has a monochromatic laser beam that is harmful, and also it is very somewhat costly. Okay, electron microscope. Electron microscope is a very highly uh, highly modified technique using this, and generally found in higher laboratories. It is an additional microscope that talking about, and you should know about it. Electron microscope is a type of microscope that uses a particle beam of electron to illuminate a specimen and create a highly magnified image. Electron microscope have much greater resolving power than light microscope and can obtain much higher magnification up to 2 million times, while the best light microscopes are limited to magnification of up to 2000 times. Okay, here is the diagram of electron microscope, and these are mostly incorporated in higher laboratories where the upgraded works are to be done. And electron microscopes are generally of two types. First is the transmission electron microscope, and second one is the scanning electron microscope. The transmission electron microscopes offer very powerful magnification and resolution, and have a wide range of applications and can be utilized in a variety of different scientific, educational, and industrial fields. It also provides the information on element and compound structures, and images are formed by these electron microscopes are of very high quality and in detailed. It also have some disadvantages also. Electron microscopes are very large and extremely very expensive. Laborious samples preparation required. Operation and analysis requires a special training. If you are not trained, you cannot work on this electron microscope. Samples are limited to those that are electron transparent, and also it requires a special housing and maintenance, and very very costly also. And yes, we obtain one important thing, we obtain a image of black and white. We do not obtain a colored image. We generally obtain a black and white image from this electron microscope of a specimen. Thank you for being with us. I hope you have enjoyed the lecture today and understood each and everything of the microscope. For more information, please log on to our website www.itlsacademy.com and register yourself for summer training program.